everybody. It's Holly Burns of Holly Burns Psychic. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do consciousness coaching video number 3, inspired by something I heard this week. But first, I just want to explain a little bit about what I do and who I am. So I'm a psychic medium, which just means that I translate information from the unphysical realm, the non-physical realm. And I can also speak with any soul that is what people would call dead. That's what mediumship is. But we are all that. Every single one of you is also that, because this is how we're wired as people. But I just happen to practice this and do this for a living because it's my passion and it's what I'm called to do. So anyway, I'm here to help all you guys get better at that skill as well and trust yourselves more, because this is a great state of consciousness that we're working toward as a planet. This is what the Great Awakening is about, is awakening that part of who you are. Well, anyway, let's get into consciousness coaching video number 3. What is our true civic duty? Okay. This week, I was driving in my truck and I heard one of my favorite radio DJs say, "It is your civic duty." She was talking about getting the COVID vaccine. She's talking about how we need to get 80% of the people on the planet vaccinated in order to reach herd immunity. And she said, "It is your civic duty." Is it? Is it really our civic duty for everybody to get vaccinated? Let's discuss what our real, true, highest civic duty is as people on the planet, okay? Okay, so I discussed this with the elders, which is one of my go-to groups that I speak with all day long, 24/7. They know everything about us. They know everything about our past, present, and future. And I love them. And they've been talking to me 24/7 since 2007. They never go away. So, hey, as long as you're going to be there, you might as well make yourselves useful, right? So I started talking back to them, and here we are today. So let's see what they said. Okay, let me look at my notes, because I did the reading before, and then I put it into notes format, because otherwise it would be way too long, because I just use a lot of words. So this will help us out by consolidating what I got my thoughts together on before. So I'll be glancing over here at my second computer and then glancing back. All right, so the elders, first of all, wanted to say that that is a false premise, that it's our civic duty to get vaccinated. They said that's based on a false premise. So they said, let's tackle the first statement. What is civic duty? They said, you do not understand the true meaning of civic duty. Okay, so let's discuss that. The civic duty means contributing the best possible way to society, right? Right. Contributing the best possible way. So how do we do that? Is getting vaccinated our truest, highest way of contributing? Herein lies the false premise. Getting a vaccination does not contribute to society. Your feelings about getting vaccinated contribute to society, because we are all vibrational beings in a physical shell, which appears to be physical, but this is all just vibration as well. Everything on the planet is just vibration. Nothing here is really solid. It's all energy, but it appears to be solid to us, so we define it as solid. But really, we're all just energy. Everything is energy. Well, when we combine with the physical shell and a human brain and we think thoughts, we emit those thoughts out as energy. So we're all day long walking around sending out vibrations and sending out frequencies, like little transistor radios, or I always say we're like walking, talking satellite dishes. So when we do this, we affect everybody else on the planet with our vibrations, because it's a whole, like this effect, pebble in the water effect. So everybody on the planet's thoughts, because as a physical apparatus, we are designed to meld with what's around us vibrationally. So you have a friend that vibrates like this, and their speed of thought, because let's say they're up on an 8 out of 10 all the time, the day you're with them, and they're going to make you feel better, because if you're on an 8, 10 being the best, they're going to bring you up, because your body's going to want to sync with the number 8. Say you're at a 4, you hang out with your friend that day and she's at an 8. you're going to probably end up at a 6 when you're done with that person. This person might end up feeling worse, but it depends on how aligned they are. But that's a whole nother video as well. It's kind of energy vampires, energy sucking. But anyway, your human body's vibrations wants to feel comfortable around the vibrations around them. That's why we like to be with other people that are like us. That's why neighborhoods hook together with ethnicity groups, because people like to have the same vibrations, and the same thoughts and traditions will create same vibrations. So as human beings, we want to sync with other human beings in a harmonious way with all vibrations on the planet. So everybody on the planet's vibrations affects the planet equally in importance. There's nobody more important on the planet than anyone else. Every single human being, we have the same ability to vibrate, and positive vibrations vibrate way stronger and further out than negative ones do. So this is called the collective consciousness. So this is the premise that is falsely based, that just getting vaccinated is going to help, because then we're not going to get sick, or we're going to make someone else sick. Okay, let me go back to the notes and get this in the right order, because I had this all worked out last night. So yes, the best ways. Okay, yes. So the best way to contribute to society. Okay, I covered absolutely everything I just wrote. Oh, in order. Okay. Wow, I thought the same way 2 days in a row. That's unusual for me, because usually I rewrite these things about 5 times. And every time I go back through it, I'm like, no. And I flip it around and do it all different the next way. Okay, I'm amazed I followed my notes. So now that we understand vibrations, our thoughts affect our vibrations. If we're thinking lower thoughts, we're going to vibrate lower frequencies, because that's just how it is. When you're tuned to that radio, it's like different radio stations. You're tuning into different radio stations. When you're tuned to a lower radio station, that's a lower frequency. So that's the energy vibe that you're on. If you're tuning to a higher one with higher thoughts, that tunes you to higher, faster frequency. And this is, yes, it is now being scientifically proven that we're doing all these things. So, but then again, what is science? Okay, ever changing all the time, ever changing. So everything's always ever changing, isn't it? But we know these things to be true. I know them to be true. If you don't, then do your own studying and come to your own conclusions. But for me today, I am of the belief that our thoughts do change different frequencies. Our feelings as well do change our frequencies. Well, to contribute, now this affects the whole planet. Let's go out here, okay? This thought that I think is going to collectively add to everybody's thought on the planet, because we all meld together vibrationally, right? We all meld. So everybody on the planet's thoughts are creating what's called the collective consciousness of the planet, and the frequency of the planet, the overall frequency. It's like when you average things out in math class, right? You add up every single one, get the total, divide by how many people, how many numbers or integers you're adding up. That's what Earth's frequency is too. Every single person's individual frequency on the planet, all added up and divided by how many people are on the planet, that's going to get us our overall average frequency for the planet. So somebody's really high at an 8, and then 2 people are on 2s, that's going to pull the consciousness of the planet down to an average between those two. So this is what we're doing all the time. And this is our civic duty. Our true civic duty is to vibrate and contribute to the planet in the most positive way that you possibly can. That is an individual thing. Every single person has their own state of highest consciousness and their own methods and thoughts and ways to get themselves there. So this is where the false premise comes in. For some people, it might be their destiny to help more doctors 10 years from now. And so we might need some unvaccinated people to do tests on. So if these people today are getting a calling to not get vaccinated, it might be because they're supposed to be that way in a couple years, so we can transcend. If every single human planet on the planet got vaccinated, it might not be to our highest good. We don't know what our highest good is, but our all-knowing versions of ourselves do know what is our highest good, and they call us to it all day long. So some people are being called to get vaccinated. Some people are being called to do something else, and they might be learning really interesting, important things for science. So there's so much changing and shifting on the planet right now in every way, shape, or form. And I'm super excited for what's going to happen in healthcare in the next 10 years. There's so many really cool, great scientists and doctors out there that are working to stay in the flow and come up with all these great new ways and new treatments for everything. So let's just assume we're all working towards that goal. Let's allow every individual person to do what gets them to their highest frequency. If we're doing that, then Susie over there will benefit more than she thinks. So Susie's asking Tina to get vaccinated because she thinks it'll benefit her if she's vaccinated. If this is not Tina's highest state of consciousness to be vaccinated, it doesn't help Tina. She needs to just do whatever she needs to do to get to a 10 out of 10. Then what happens is what happens? The collective consciousness of the planet goes up. And as a frequency, we create new ideas and new inventions and things that actually transcend pandemics altogether. And we don't even have them anymore. Like, I do know there are people right now that are working on how to rewrite our DNA so we don't get sick at all. I also know light therapy is a huge off-planet technology that's being introduced onto the planet, and many people on the planet do have some secrets from other societies in the universe that know how to keep us from getting sick. So there's a lot of different things we're going to be doing here in the next 10, 20 years on the planet. So she needs to understand that she's upset, but then she says, yeah, but I'm upset that she's not getting vaccinated. So how does that help me? Because you said, Holly, if I think negative thoughts, that I'm going to get lower frequency reality, and then I might actually get COVID because I'm affecting my immune system in a negative way, and then I'm going to get sick. Well, these are two separate things. This person over here needs to do what she needs to do for herself so that she feels at her highest vibrational state. So let's just do it with her. She's doing that. She has the freedom to do that. She's out of there. Okay. Now we go back to Susie. With Susie and Tina, right? Susie. So Susie, we gotta tell Susie some stuff about her own personal alignment. And sorry about the ashes from my fireplace. I tried to wash my fingers. Guess I didn't do good enough. Used to being a lefty, I'm always having something here anyway my whole life. So hey, it's just on the opposite end. So Susie over here needs to understand the concepts. If she says, if she needs to change her perception. If she says, hey, wait a minute. Okay, that's cool. Yes, yes. You go and do what works for you to get at your highest vibrational state. Then I'm feeling good. Then I'm good. But she just doesn't understand yet. So that's why there's this disjointedness. So this person has to do her work. If she's feeling upset about what this person's doing, it's really this person's problem, not this person's problem. This person's out of alignment. So when we look at somebody else around us on the planet and we're upset with how they're making their choices, that's our problem. That means we're out of alignment. So there's the answer. To be contributors to society in the best way, we need to just be all allowed to make our own choices for every person's physical shell and physical state. Some people want to do plant-based health things, and maybe they'll come up with some wonderful inventions in 2 years. Some people want to use ultralight therapy. Some people want to get vaccinated. So all these different ways are all on the path, I think, to transcending sickness and having wellness for the whole planet. So hopefully that makes sense to you today. Let me double check my notes and see if there's anything else. Oh yes, there was a part 2 to this at the bottom. But the elders did say specifically, they said, so eliminating the ability for some people to choose the best feeling choice for them disallows some people to have a chance to reach their highest vibration of consciousness. And so thusly, we're bringing the whole bar down on the planet, and we're stuck with, 10 extra years of sickness because we're not getting to it faster and quicker. When the whole planet's on a higher vibration, what happens is we start spitting out the things that no longer work for us. And we're doing that right now all over the place on the planet. We're spitting out a lot of things like pedophilia, things like that do not work for us. And we are exposing that, and it's going off the planet. So the higher the frequency is, the higher downloads people get, because remember, people want to sync with each other. So everybody starts getting to that level, and then the bottom goes away, and a new high is opened up. It's like they said, it's like surpassing the 4-minute mile. We surpassed the 4-minute mile as a human race. Okay, I think you guys all get that. If you have any questions, just stick them in the comments. Okay, the next concept that we wanted to cover today was people that don't want to wear a mask and don't want to get vaccinated are putting the rest of the population at risk. I think we kind of just covered this in the vaccination part, in the civic duty, but let's just do this one more time. People say if you want to be a member of society, you should do what's best for everybody because you're out there affecting all of us. So you should wear your mask. You should get vaccinated because otherwise when you go out, you could be getting everybody else sick. And so I asked the elders what they want to say about this, and they actually gave me a word-for-word answer, and it was like, done. So I'm just going to read it because what they said was just, okay, well, I can't do better than that. So I'm going to read what they said. They said, you are the one putting yourself at risk by giving your power away to someone else, thinking they have the power to make you sick, which they do not. Only you can allow yourself to be sick, and only you can make yourself well. The inner workings of your body determine whether or not you will get sick. And the inner workings of your body are controlled by you. Only you can control your brain. No one else can think for you. And your thoughts are what controls your brain, and your brain controls your entire body, including your immune system. So if you don't want to get sick, the last thing you should be doing is getting upset about what someone else is doing that doesn't please you, because that lowers your vibrations, which lowers your frequency, which lowers your brain and body's ability to function at its highest level. So really, getting upset at that person you're upset with for not following the same protocol as you is actually what makes you sick, not their germs. Let that sink in for a second. You might have to back up and replay that again. Let me say it one more time. So really, getting upset at the other person for not following the same protocol as you is actually what makes you sick, not their germs. Germs will be germs. Germs are everywhere and always have been, they said. You need to understand what really makes you sick so you can really stay well. The most important thought we want to leave you with is don't do anything that lowers your vibration. And that includes getting upset that someone else's highest vibrating choice for themselves is not the highest choice that you want them to make, or that you would make yourself for yourself. And if you really want to get deep on this subject, let them be and you will see. Oh, hold on, I skipped a line. If you really want to get deep on this subject, don't get upset at anything else you see anyone doing or saying that doesn't align with your highest vibrating choices for yourself. So that means anything, anywhere, anytime. Like political differences, that kind of stuff. So they said, our mantra for today is, let them be and you will see. You will see a much higher, better, more pleasing outcome for all if you all just let others make their own highest vibrating choices for themselves and you do the same. That is all. That's what they said. Does that make sense? So our mantra for today is, let them be and you will see. So if that doesn't feel good to you, that means you're not quite awakened yet to understand the perspective. So the perspective is it helps you. So it's not just, hey, let them be, and then you have to be over here having to battle their sickness that they give you. That's not what it is. Let them be and you will see. It benefits you too. Everybody is benefited up on the higher frequency, okay? Everybody. So you don't get sick because you're not screwing up your immune system, but you also don't get sick because the higher and faster the collective consciousness is allowed to vibrate, the quicker and faster we come up with solutions and treatments for our sicknesses, and then we don't get sick. Okay? All right. Their end ends today's consciousness lesson number 3. Have a great rest of your day, you guys. If y'all want any more information, feel free to visit my website, hollyburnpsychic.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook under the same name. See you there.